Okay, welcome everyone. We're about to get started with our Google Hangout, where we're going to talk about doing an hour of code with Tynker, making the most of it, and taking a personalized approach in order to engage your students. I think we have a number of teachers and parents who have joined us today, so welcome. So glad that you're going to be doing an hour of code with Tynker. You're going to be joining thousands of schools around the world who have also let us know that they're going to be doing our hour of code. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so we wanted to have this session today because we want you to get the most out of an hour of code with Tynker. And one of the things that we've done to make our hour of code special is we've taken a very personalized approach. We want to make it engaging. We want kids to have fun with it, and we want to give you the tools to make the learning relevant. And you're in good company. There are thousands of schools that have let us know that they're going to be doing Tynker Hour of Code events worldwide. And if you don't see your logo, make sure that you tweet to @GoTynker, #Hour of Code, and let us know what your plans are. We got a really cute video clip from some girls in San Diego who are planning their family night coding with Tynker. Here's what they had to say. Really cute. So thank you very much, Casita, for sending in that video. All right, so here are the top 10 reasons why you should be doing an hour of code with Tynker. First of all, you're going to see that we have a lot of great appropriate activities for you to choose from. We also have a variety of activities because we want to be able to engage any level of experience. So if you're just a beginner or if you've had some coding experience, we want you to have fun with an hour of code. So there are a variety of activities to address this. In addition, we know that some kids like to build comic strips and some kids like to build games and others like to just play with math art. So we have a variety of interests that we'll address. We even give you the ability to design your own hour of code lessons with our tutorial designer that was just released last month. So if you're looking for how-tos on doing this, just check out #TynkerHOC. We've been putting a lot of tips on there for how to do an hour of code and customize it to your students' needs. You'll be able to do Tynker's hour of code on any device, tablets, and the web. You don't have to have programming experience to do an hour of code with Tynker, kids or teachers. Very easy to get started. There's no prep required. You just go to the page and kids just take it away from there. All of our activities support Common Core standards, and we actually have a grid that shows which ones that we meet, in addition to CSTA standards. You'll never run out of activities to try, and number one reason, it's going to be really, really fun. So let's hear from kids who got a sneak peek of our hour of code.
I'm excited about an hour of code with Tynker because, like, when I do Tynker, it's just fun. I don't get stressed out, but I know I'm learning something. And so an hour of code with all the new stuff is going to be just extra exciting for me because I love Tynker.
How do I fix it, guys? Rotation style. There you
I'm excited for the hour of code with Tynker because it's really fun and how there's all those stuff like dragons, the critters, and the people that you can make.
Change it. Wait. Wait, no, not that.
Oh wait, but
Okay,
I'm excited about the new hour of code at Tynker because it can really teach others how to code, and also it can inspire you to have new ideas for new programs.
it's a new thing and I've never done it before, and I think it's going to be really fun.
Exactly as you want.
I'm excited about Hour of Code because it's a whole new chance for me to learn new things.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm excited about Tynker Hour I want to learn new coding features. Yeah!
And I'm looking forward to the Hour of Code because it's going to be a great opportunity for me to let out my imagination.
We gotta jump?
You have to press the jelly.
You go too far.
I'm excited about Hour of Code with Tynker because I can learn new things with coding and I can actually use them in my real life.
I think it's going to be really fun.
And it's really fun.
So as you can see, lots of engagement, lots of excitement. You can see that we've grade banded our activities. We've got 4 activities specifically for K through 4, 4 activities specifically for grades 5 through 8, and then for kids who have gone through those intro activities, we have 4 more challenging activities that any grade level could participate in based on how much they've learned so far. One of our goals was to make sure that we could engage all ages, experience levels, and interests, so we have a variety of different things here. You can see we've got multi-level coding adventures. We've got the ability to design your own personalized characters or make your own art studio. Lots and lots of things to do. So we wanted to have this session today because we wanted to explain how you can really tailor this experience to your kids so that they are engaged and have fun with it and really make the most of what Tynker has designed into an hour of code. So the first thing that we suggest is that to motivate the learning, let them create their own character. There are 3 activities where they can do this: Candy Quest, Dragon Dash, and Debugger. They can create their own characters and guide those characters through the coding puzzle. So it becomes a more relevant experience for them. That is their character is solving those puzzles. It's really them that's going on the journey of learning through the adventure. So that's a great place to start. Then what we want to do is we want kids to have the opportunity to apply what they've learned to create something, because after all, that's the point of creating with code, is the fact that you can actually make something that you can share with somebody else. So we have a variety of different projects that kids can pick based on their interests, and each one of these allows them to create something that they can then share so that they can show what they've made with their coding knowledge. So for K4, greeting cards, Trailblazer, Brick Breaker. For grades 5 through 8, My Art Studio, Arcade Shooter, and Pattern Makers. So lots of things for them to make. And then if there's more challenge, we do have other activities. And on the teacher's guide, you'll see that we have a detailed explanation of every activity. You'll see that there is a coding experience level, there's a grade level, there's a time estimate for each activity, as well as answer keys. We also provide some sample sequences on that page. So for instance, if you've got first-time coders who are grades K through 3, you might want to start them with Candy Quest and then move into Trailblazer and Greeting Card. Or if you've got some advanced level coders that are grade 6, you might want to start them with Debugger and then move on to 2-player Cannon. So hopefully this gives you a sense of how you can guide your students. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is switch to showing you some of the activities. You would start on this page and you would click in, go into Dragon Dash, and you can see that they can choose whichever dragon they want to start with, and they can make that dragon completely their own. So they can change the head, the wings, they can give different colored wings, and maybe some electric horns. There we go. And once they've created their personal character, then they can go and then they can start the game. Now, in this game, your character is actually the one that you lead through the puzzles. So it's creating this personalized experience for a student to feel like they are a part of this game. So, and they're learning coding as they go. So in this game, I need to move my dragon forward by giving them a forward block to execute. And now I'll test my program. And I can see me, my character, in the game getting the treasure. The way that we teach kids coding is by gently walking them through various steps where the challenges get a little bit harder every time. So in this case, I need to figure out the fact that I need to go forward, but then I have to do something else in order to get up here to get the treasure. In this case, I've been given a fly up block, forward, fly up. They need to figure out the order and then maybe the logic as to what's actually going to get them to the treasure. So forward, fly up, maybe I might need another forward block in order to get to the treasure. Once I get to the top of the turret, let's see if that works. Okay. And one of the things I've done is I've actually muted the music, but here we go. As they're working, there's actually music playing. There are lots of sound effects. So they can either do it with or without the sound. All right, let's just do one more level because this level is going to introduce me to a loop. In this case, I need to fly up and go forward repeatedly to get to the treasure. And you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to show you what happens if kids make a mistake, because we make it very easy for them to trial and error, test and figure out what's going on as they learn to code, because that's how kids learn. And it'll get progressively harder as they go along, so that they really learn coding, basic coding concepts at the end, such as patterning, sequencing, loops, and conditionals. We're going to try the comic creator. So if we go into the comic creator, okay, and we play the comic. Again, this is a finished comic that a child has already created. You can see there's the opportunity to put in text, music, create drama out of their story, and tell their story any way they want to tell it. Okay. All right. There's also the Space Breaker game. And this might remind you of the Pong game. But kids can actually build this game as well and play it with friends. There's also a two-player game that we give them the opportunity to create. In this one, you aim your cannons to knock over bricks, and you can take turns doing that. And again, this is a game that kids can make. So now that you've seen what the games look like, let me go back to our Hour of Code page and show you how it would look if they were getting into it. So what the kids would do is they would click on, for instance, two-player cannon. And they would go in, and it would automatically open up and make all of our creativity tools available to them. We have a tutorial here, and actually I'm going to turn my...
Right now, only the right cannon is working. We'll set up the left cannon in the tutorial. For this game, we'll need physics, cannons, a cannonball, platforms, and targets. Click next to get started.
Okay, so you can see that when they open up the project, they actually get a tutorial automatically that helps step them through how to build that project. There's a voiceover to it too. So once they put the code blocks together, they would play their game in this window. As the tutorial mentioned, only one of the cannons is working. So if I were to play right now, I can get the right cannon to shoot, but not the left cannon. So that's what they would be doing in this Hour of Code tutorial, is they would be actually putting in the code to get the left cannon to shoot. So that gives you an idea of how our activities are structured. Now, any of these projects can be saved to their account if they already have one, or they can create an account very easily. All right. So there's another activity called Pattern Maker, and you can see I've gone straight into the project here. So, and this is actually a completed project that a student has done, and you can see here's the code that will make the pattern. And usually when I'm doing this with students, I ask them to predict what's going to happen based on the code that's here, what pattern it's going to make. So you can answer that question for yourselves. All right, here, I'm going to play, and you'll actually be able to see it create the pattern. So if you predicted that it was going to make a rainbow spiral, you are correct. Give yourself a pat on the back. All right. Let me just show you a little bit more with the greeting card. Before I was showing you a completed project, this is what it would look like from a student's point of view if they clicked on that card, animated greeting card, and went straight into to the project. So first they would see that there's a tutorial here. And I'll go ahead and turn the volume back on.
This is a basic project that will show you how to create your very own greeting card. Try hitting the play button at the top right of the screen to run the project. When you're finished, hit the stop button.
Okay, so you can see here's what they start with, and what will happen is in this starter example, if I click the space bar, I can change the backgrounds. If I click the actor, she'll dance. And if I click the decorations, they'll actually change color. Let's see, they're animating a little bit there. So that's what students would start with. And then they can change it up however they want. They can change the message, they can change the background, they can change the animations, they can do whatever they want to make this greeting card their own. And then when they click save, they can save the project to their account, and then they can also share it to the showcase. Our activities also support Common Core standards, and here are some of the examples of the standards that that we cover with an hour of code. We also have a chart on our website that shows the exact standard numbers if you're wanting to make reference to that. In addition, each student, when they complete an hour of code activity, will get a certificate. So now I'm just going to mention a few things related to logistics. If you're an existing Tynker teacher, there's no prep that's needed. This hour of code logo will appear in your students' accounts, and all they have to do is log in, click on the icon, and they're on the hour of code page, and they can create projects, save them to your accounts. They don't need to log in again. Teachers will also get activity metrics. We'll be able to tell you how many of your students have participated in an hour of code and what activities they've completed. And this tab will be live in your accounts tomorrow on 12/5. Okay, now if you're not a Tynker teacher, don't worry. It's really easy to do our hour of code as well. You just get started. Just have your students go directly to our link and pick any projects that interest them. When they've completed the project, if they want to save it, they'll just have to create a login, and that eventually, if you do set up a teacher account, your students can join your class using a code. Or if you want to, you can set up your account now before an hour of code and get your class set up. And we actually have a link here to our educator's guide, which will walk you through that process if you want to do that before Monday. All right, and then here are a few more setup tips, and I just wanted to throw these in here just to make this deck complete. But students can print their certificates even without logging in. We just wanted to make sure you knew that. And especially for public computer areas, if students log in, remind them to log out when they're done and clear their cache before a new student starts. Otherwise, the certificates will show the previous students' names. So now, if you're looking for inspiration, we've actually started to already put up projects that students have completed with the hour of code activities. And you can get there at hourofcode/projects, and you can take a look at what kids have already created. In addition, if you have a teacher Tynker account, you can create your own showcase as well, just like you do with Tynker projects that your students create today. Now, if you're accessing Hour of Code from code.org, I just want to let you know that the Tynker slide is under Tutorials for Beginners. So if you scroll down to the second pod on the page and you scroll to the right, you will see Tynker Build Your Own Game. You click Go, and it'll go straight to our Hour of Code page. Now, as we've been tweeting out our tips on Hour of Code, we've been getting lots and lots of teachers giving us their ideas for how they want to do Hour of Code, and we wanted to share some of those ideas with you. One was posting printouts of kids' custom characters on a bulletin board and watching it grow all week. It'll be a way of showing how much the kids have accomplished, and it'll be a really visible sign of the fun that kids are having. You can also plan a family hour of code night where you invite parents, community leaders, school administrators, and others to see the great work that you and your students are doing. I know that there are a couple of events where they're actually going to use the students to teach their parents how to code, which is, what can be more exciting than that, when you actually see kids showing adults how to code and empowering them with that knowledge. You can also have a classroom challenge. You can showcase the best creations that kids have created using Pattern Maker or My Art Studio or the Animated Card Creator. And for experienced students, if you want to give them more of a challenge, have them pick a theme and ask students to create lessons for each other using Tutorial Designer. One of the things I didn't point out before was a lot of our activities actually have tutorials embedded in them. That was the step-by-step instructions that you saw in the project itself. Kids can actually create tutorials themselves. If they go in and choose Create Tutorial from the workshop, they will be able to create their own tutorials based on any project that they've already done. So that capability is already there in the Tynker workshop, and that's what more experienced students can do. And then finally, if you've gone through and planned your hour of code, why not showcase it to your community by reaching out to the media and inviting them to witness your hour of code firsthand. And we actually have a link to resources with copy and a press release template if you're interested in doing that. We want to make it as easy for you as possible. Finally, if you go to Twitter and search for #TynkerHOC, you'll see all the ideas that we've been posting for the past 4 weeks that have come in from teachers and other things that they have submitted themselves. So please go to Twitter if you're wanting more ideas for an hour of code. And finally, we want to give Tynker teachers the opportunity to earn free lessons with Tynker. So let others know about Hour of Code with Tynker. Let them know that you'll be doing it. Encourage them to do it too. And we will be giving free lessons to Tynker teachers at the end of December. So, so one of the questions that came in was using Tynker on tablets. How do we do that? So go ahead and just go to iTunes or go to Google Play and download the free app, the free Tynker app that's there. You'll have access to some introductory coding puzzles that kids can work on, as well as games that can be remixed. Kids can actually, play the little game starters, remix them, add to them, and then when students create a login, or when they log into their accounts, those projects that they create on the tablets will actually be saved to their web account. So whether they're on the web or they're on a tablet, they'll be able to access their projects from both places. So it's really easy for kids to be doing Tynker's Hour of Code on a tablet or on the web. Here's another question that just came in. Will we be able to do Hour of Code after this upcoming week, after December 14th? Absolutely. You can do an hour of code anytime. In fact, in this past year, we've had millions of kids who have gone and done our hour of code even after the initial week in December. So it's very possible for you to do an hour of code anytime. Okay, here's another question about the teacher's guide. You know what, I think the best thing to do is for me to actually bring up that page. The way that you can navigate to the teacher's guide is you just click on Teachers Start here, and you'll get to our teacher's guide. So here is the activity list that describes all of the different activities that kids can choose from. And then here towards the bottom of the page, you'll see there's suggested sequences by grade and experience level. So it's very easy for you to get to this information if you need it. In fact, you can even let your kids know that this is kind of their roadmap for what you want them to do. There are resources here, links to references that will help you plan your hour of code. So this is the slide deck that I referred to that has the tips for inviting the media and copy that you can use for doing your outreach to parents. The second link here is the tutorial designer. So it shows you how to use the tutorial designer to build your own tutorials. Here's the press release template that you can use to invite the media. We also have a question in about how many students can I have on my Tynker account? You know, so when you sign up as a teacher for free, you can have an unlimited number of students. You can add as many classes as you have. You can add all the students that are in those classes. There really is no limit. And you can have as many students as you want do an hour of code. Where there is a limit on students is when you subscribe to our premium curriculum. So that's done on a license basis. So there's certain number of students that you can add that come with your license, but that doesn't have anything to do with an hour of code. For an hour of code, you can have an unlimited number of students doing it and an unlimited number of students in your free teacher account. Feel free if there are any other questions that you have, definitely tweet them in at GoTynker, hashtag Hour of Code, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. Also, please tell us your plans. We love hearing from parents as well as teachers to find out what they're doing with an hour of code and how they're making it fun and exciting for kids. So with that, we're signing off. And tell friends that they can access this broadcast through the link. And happy coding. Have a great Hour of Code week, everyone.